closet. We thank her and pay her for her sacrifice. We wanted to run the gamut of footwear, so our shoe shelf included a pair of sandals, more for the emotional damage of getting hit with a sandal than the physical damage, then some sneakers, a pair of wedges, by far our heaviest shoes of the day, a chunky heel, and finally, the stilettos. Before busting out the ballistic dummy, we wanted to see what level of forces we were actually working with here. According to a study by Salco and Knight, a skull can fracture under a mere 73 newtons, which is kind of crazy, but a fracture won't necessarily kill you. Another study from Japan estimated that you need about 5,400 newtons to do a full-on Game of Thrones skull crush. That right there is a big range of numbers, which is honestly why we're just gonna test it for ourselves. For that, we sent Jason out to get a handy-dandy force meter to see exactly how much force we're exerting with each of these shoes. The plan was for each of us to take 3 swings to get some average force readings from 3 individuals with different sizes and arm strengths. But let's just say there was a bit of a learning curve on this one.
Ready?
Didn't even register.
No.
0!
Go again. It keeps glancing off.
Sure.
It really does. Somebody else take a flap at this thing.
And flap we did.
I have rage and very bad aim. Dang it, it's
Okay.
over.
Wow, little did we suspect that the true question that we'd be answering today is how difficult it is to hit a large target with a shoe. The struggle bus had certainly left the station. Before y'all write it off, let the person with actual rage in his soul take over.
I like that this is a competition for who has the most rage.
Oh, Stephanie, it was never a contest. Rage Pat, engage!
Not a chance. So this is like a classic physics experiment. Not even. No, man. So if you it really is your 9th grade physics class. If you've ever been
98.
Your teacher probably described how one thing can only exert as much force on the other as can be exerted on it. So if you punch a piece of paper, that paper can only exert as much force on you as you can exert on it. If anything that you're hitting or that's being hit is super flexible, it's going to immediately bring the force that it can actually deliver to 0. You're just delivering bend. You're not delivering any force.
Equal and opposite reaction and all that?
Yeah, all that. Newton, you know? He was onto something, you guys.
Right, that's kind of why they put his name on the measurements. Can you measure?
Let's get another shoe.
Next up was the sneaker, tastefully pulled from Amy's newest cosplay, Street Fighter. Little did she suspect how literal that would be for the shoe.
So since the sandal had way too much bend, we're going to try an everyday sneaker, which will give us a little bit more weight and a little less flexibility.
Hold on, is this a pump?
It is a pump.
Is it gonna do more damage if I pump it all the way?
No, actually, it'll probably do less. Stop that.
So satisfying. With the shoe pumped up, it was time to swing. And immediately there was a clear difference. The less floppy sneaker wasn't losing all its force by bending away from the target. Across our swings, Stephanie and Amy had an average force in the low hundreds, and I clocked in at just over 200 newtons. And already you can see that it's not just the shoe making the difference. It's also the weight of the person that's doing the hits. All 3 of us wanted to be a part of this experiment because we represented a spectrum of sizes. A small, medium, and large, if you will. And as you can see with the data, there was a clear progression between the 3 of us. Amy was able to exert more force than Steph, and I, as the resident thick king of theorists, consistently did the most damage. Go figure, size matters. Hence why contact sports like boxing have themselves weight classes. The other thing that matters when you hit someone with an object turning on the machine.
Oh, it's not.
Trust us, we're professional. Also, this is probably a good time to mention that we as professionals don't recommend trying this at home, because as you're about to see, even professionals run into problems.
It takes
254, but I lost the shoe in the process. Famous last words, right? Over the course of my swings, I couldn't hold on to this thing for the life of me. Just shoes flying left, right, and center. I don't know who should have been more scared. The force meter I was trying to hit with the cameraman. Overall, the sneaker showed that at least we could get results, but nothing was really close to being even remotely deadly. Which meant that it was time to move on to the first heel-adjacent shoe, the wedge. And Amy made sure to bring a very weighty wedge.
It's heavy.
This is gonna do damage. Oh, it was. This shoe, the heaviest one on the roster by far, weighed in at 460 grams or 1.01 pounds. This one was the first contender that felt like a real weapon. This is the wedge that you go to the club in, and then you take it off midway through your evening, and then you put it off the
Wait,
side.
you're the barefoot person in the club? Oh, no.
So when you go to the club, in order to do the dance, this is the shoe that you should wear to protect yourself. Though yet again, the wedge shoe gave us the same grip issues.
It's a grip problem, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really try
These
and
are
put
from
my fingers in here and get a good handle on it. Ready?
Oh! Seam Theorist, always here to teach you the proper way to wield your footwear like a deadly weapon. Amy and I also got some big swings in while testing some alternative survival strategies.
Oh, God.
Again, apologies to camera people.
Is your instinct the like hit and run? So you hit, drop, run?
Right, I mean, honestly, the real solution here is like, ah! In the end, the heavier shoe brought Amy and Steph's max force to 245, while mine capped out at just under 400 newtons. And while those numbers were starting to get into impressive ranges, suddenly I realized that there was a question that we should have been asking ourselves from the very beginning. Was any of this actually better than just punching? If this is the question of whether you're better off using a shoe or just your fists, I feel like all of us need a baseline. Admittedly, we were all feeling a bit nervous considering none of us had ever really punched anything before. You haven't punched anything before? Kind of nervous.
That's not true. He got really mad about scripts one time and punched the wall.
I did say I punched the ball once, but honestly, it probably made the results better since most people haven't done that sort of thing in the past. And speaking of those results, they wound up to be very surprising.
Ooh, 480.
There was a good one.
548.
Yeah, 548.
Okay.
Okay.
891. Overall, each and every one of us were able to get double the force out of a punch than we were out of that heavy wedge. So between that and the awkward grip required to swing a shoe around, things weren't looking all that hot for the footwear fatality. But we weren't about to give up hope. It was finally time to swing some heels. For this test, we wanted to use different sizes of heel to get the best sample. What we immediately noticed, outside of Amy's unique fashion choices, ooh, these are fun. Are these yours, Amy?
Those are mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like fun socks, so you can show them off.
Was that even though the force was about the same as the wedge, the area of impact was not.
It is separate, so it's not a wedge, so we don't have force distributed all the way down the shoe. It really is just focused in the heel.
The other interesting thing, and again, like this is the important thing to know when we're talking about this particular episode, and force as a measurement, right? Force is pressure distributed across a surface area, right? So not only is it like how hard are you hitting something, but also how wide of an area are you hitting it with. So as we get to these like narrower and narrower, smaller and smaller heels, presumably all that force is getting funneled into a smaller surface area, so it should be doing more damage. Right you are, live action me. This is the linchpin of our experiment. Pressure. Pressure is the force exerted on an object over a surface area. The smaller the area, the more pressure that you're actually applying. Case in point, bring out the stiletto. Yeah, if we're talking about force distribution across surface area, a fist is very wide, so yeah, you're gonna be delivering a lot of force, but it's gonna be dispersed over across a large surface area. If we're looking to do damage,
you're never gonna stab something with a fist, and ultimately that's what this episode comes down to. It's not how much force you need to hit it with, it's how much force you need to puncture it.
And from the beginning, there was a very visible difference here. Sure, the force we were delivering tended to be at the lower range for our shoes, but the damage we were doing with that force was much greater.
It didn't puncture it, but I did get 147.
You're seeing the like pointed damage
Yeah.
that's being done to the bag itself.
None of the other shoes were denting the surface, and you can see like we almost broke through on a couple of them here.
And then it was my turn, and on the first swing, it happened. And I ripped into it.
Yeah! All right, our first stab of the day.
Stab and a half! In fact, every time I landed a blow with only the heel, the results were constantly deadly. Oh, 166, but I did some.
Oh yeah,
That's huge.
definitely did some damage.
The name Tiny Knives is entirely accurate. The stilettos were able to do damage at a level that none of the other shoes could. In short, coming out of the force test, it seemed like the recommendation for this episode was stilettos or nothing. Using punches ensures you don't lose most of your force through an awkward grip on a shoe, whereas stilettos are just able to do a bunch of ripping and puncture damage. But would it be enough to actually damage the human skull? And could we do enough damage to actually bring someone down? It was time to bring out the heads. Since the actual force measurements were something that was giving us inconsistent ideas of what sort of damage they'd be doing, we decided to go all out and get replicas of the human head, complete with actual skulls in there.
We dug up some skulls and then put them on YouTube. No, we didn't.
Not a human skull.
These were provided by a company called Zombie Go Boom. They did a fantastic job. You have a gel outside and an actual 2-scale human skull-like object inside.
Right you are, Steph. These heads are made to replicate not only the human skull's actual durability, but the ballistics gel coating is also skin accurate. Plus, we have the inside specially filled with blue ooze because it's not blood. Blood isn't blue. This episode about smashing a human skull repeatedly with a shoe is totally monetization friendly. And hey, blue goo, kind of like a celebration of the new channel launching. Who needs a pinata when you can just smash some skulls with shoes from your very own closet? Again, thank you to Amy's Closet for the sacrifice. And thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. Head. Sir Head. I think our ballistics guy needs a name.
Anybody have any good naming ideas?
Head the head. So Amy's been doing the research for this episode, and you are now a skull expert, yeah?
I do love myself a skull, so doing the research was a very fun thing to do.
The skull your favorite bone in the body?
It actually is. I think people undersell the skull. We all have them. They are beautiful. They let us have these beautiful faces.
If the skull is Amy's favorite bone in the body, what's yours, Steph?
I'm a clavicle gal myself, but I can appreciate a good skull.
I'm more of a tibia man.
No one's a tibia man.
Oh, get out of here! Hashtag justice for tibia!
You just think it's a funny name.
You know what? Upon further reflection, Stephanie was right. I'm not a tibia man. I'm all about them metatarsals, baby! But before we started smashing skulls, it was important for us to know a little bit more about them to develop where exactly we should be aiming so we got the best chance of breaking through. Luckily, Amy and all her head bone knowledge was there to provide. Amy, take it away.
Well, Matt, it turns out that the skull is not just a single bone, but rather a bony structure made up of approximately 22 different bones, 8 cranial bones and 14 facial bones. Now, obviously, the weak points of our face are the holes that already exist there. Ears, nose, eyes, mouth. However, none of that can give us the satisfaction of cracking into our skull replica. To do that, we have to aim at 2 main areas. Area 1, the pterium, more commonly known as the temple. This is widely considered to be the weakest part of the skull and comes with an extra bonus of having a major artery hiding behind it. If it's ruptured, it can cause internal bleeding that can lead to death. Good for our experiment, bad for everything else. Area 2 are the cranial suture lines that are formed when the fontanelles of your head fuse together during childhood. Fontanelles are the soft spot on a baby's head that allow a baby to more easily pass through the birth canal and give room for the brain to expand during early childhood development. They then fuse together around 18 months old, making that fused dome that we all think of as the top of the skull. But those resulting lines where they merge are weaker than any of the surrounding bone, making them great places to aim for in our experiment. Back to you, Matt.
Armed with that knowledge, it was time to give Ted the Head his final send-off. Or at least try to give Ted his final send-off. I am so sorry for what's about to happen to you, Ted.
Sorry, buddy.
So sorry.
I mean, he's about to be smacked with a sandal. He has no dignity left.
Speaking of sandal, let's pull it out. And this, theorists, was the moment that we found the newest niche for all those ASMR channels out there, slapping skulls with sandals.
Actually, the sound is what really makes this one a good ride. Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, slap. As to be expected, the sandal was doing nothing but getting Ted dirty. The sneaker also gave us lackluster results.
Nothing. They didn't even crack it.
Enter the wedge. At the end of Steph's turn, we realized that we may have been a little bit fast to assume any cracking had been done. We were definitely doing damage, but not enough to break through the skull.
We heard a crack there, but actually the inside skull is still intact for me.
That, however, wouldn't last long.
Yay! It cracked it!
Amy lives for violence. That's awesome.
It's also in slightly the shape of the side of the
No,
heel.
you can see. Yeah, you can actually track it on there where you see how it dug in and ripped into it. The finishing blow, though, would ultimately come from me, but not before I got into character. Someone out of the club, had a good night, someone comes at me. Leave me alone! Creep! Oh!
Oh my gosh! That was very effective.
I guess you could call me the clubbing clubber. It's completely cracked from the temple area all the way up through here.
There's pieces.
Oh no, got bone fragments out of my skull! So with us having proven the bludgeoning power of wedges and Ted no longer able to give us a clean experiment, it was time to put our first head out to pasture.
Oh, he's a goner. You can see like the brainstem's gone. Oh man.
Ah, yes, the slow-motion footage of a shoe caving in a human skull. Truly a fashion tradition like outfit of the day and haul videos. Seriously though, I know style theory sounds like it's a weird one. Everyone thought that food theory was weird too, but we've been going strong for a couple years now. And when you're talking about doing experiments like this, you know that you want to give this channel a subscribe. Guess what? We still have 2 more shoes and 3 more heads to get through. Brain surgery for dummies.
Awesome!
Oh, there's like brain goo inside. Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Oh, there's like
brain matter. There's brain matter.
Speaking of those heads, one more huge shout out to Zombie Go Boom. Well, we didn't get them for free. They did put them on a rush order to get them Style Theory Blue and to the studio in time for the shoot. But enough with the sappy skull montage because we haven't answered the biggest question of all. Can a heel actually kill? First off, not only did we damage the skull, but also damage my heel. So ratchet.
How are you gonna go back to the club in that?
I know, I can't. I gotta get a new pair. I'm gonna go into my chunky heel. Equipped with a new shoe, we also needed ourselves a new head. Secondly, we got a new head, which means we need a new name.
Yep. Is it gonna be Ted 2 or are we going like Ned head?
This is clearly Ned the Head. With a rubber bottom and a significantly lighter shoe, I was skeptical that the chunky heel would be able to get the job done. Oh boy, was I wrong. Ooh, that sounded good.
Oh, got a crack.
Oh, wow, you did.
I missed where I was intending to hit completely. I was like several inches away, but I still got a crack.
I'm shocked. I did not anticipate that. My mind was blown. Figuratively, of course, I didn't want to be insensitive to Ted and Ned's current state. But in all seriousness, by aiming at the soft spot of the head, the sutures where the skull fused together, Steph was able to break through, and quite easily. In fact, it all came down to surface area. Standing here and hearing it happen, it's like you're using the head of a hammer. I didn't think that this would be strong enough or forceful enough to be able to do that, but that's exactly what's happening here. It's like we're bringing down the head of the hammer on top of the skull and literally penetrating it.
Yeah.
Since we've done so much damage to the top of the head, I wanted to see what would happen if I put that hammer-like force to the test against Ned's face. I was not disappointed. Oh, I got brain juice in my mouth. You too can show off the blood of your enemies with these. And now, Ned, you're being replaced. We need a new guy. Thank you. Next. One final pair of shoes meant that we had time for one final head and one final name. New head means new name.
Fred the head.
Fred the Head is going to be christened here in short order because it's time for our final shoe of the day. Breaking out this little knives, the stiletto. Let's do
I'm
it.
so excited for this finale. So again, I think the goal here is get as one and done as you possibly can. Can you really just get the job done in a single stab?
I don't just break out my good heels for anybody who walks into the studio.
Lovely. Full-on stiletto.
Up to this point, Steph felt bad because she missed out on all the major cranial contusions. That was about to change.
Given the success we've had before, I'm gonna actually aim for this frontal area, right down the zipper of the skull here.
That does seem like it's been kind of our most consistent success rate.
Oh
Oh my god!
It looks like a bullet hole.
This works so much better than I expected it to.
Oh yeah.
Who is actually right? Today we're throwing ourselves and our employees into the shower to find out whether gravity can wash your legs for you, and the results may just change your life forever. No way. Hello, Internet, welcome to Style Theory. Since the dawn of mankind, we have asked ourselves the biggest of questions. What is the meaning of life? Why doesn't Apple Jacks taste like apple? And most importantly of all, do we need to actually wash our legs? Now, this might seem like a ridiculous question, but believe it or not, a 2019 Twitter poll revealed that 20% of people, when they take a shower, don't actually wash their legs. And we're not talking about a small sample size here either. More than 600,000 people responded to this thing, which means that 120,000 people who voted said no, they ain't touching their stanky legs. And the more you look around the internet, the more you see just how heated this discussion can get.
You got to get down in there.
I'm not worked up about it. I don't know.
You don't wash your legs?
What do you
in the shower?
mean, like washing my legs? If you're in the shower, it's to get clean. Wash your body.
The general thought here is that the soaps and shampoos that you use on the top half of your body run down over your legs, thereby cleaning you in the process. So instead of doing the awkward, naked, bend over, moon to the gods above, you instead let gravity do all the work for you. But not only this theorist, of that 20% who said they don't wash their legs, would you assume the voters in it skewed more male or female identifying? Leave the answer down in the comments below right before you continue watching the video. No cheating. I will know if you cheat. I have my ways. You done? Awesome. Well, if you're like me and we're part of Team Dudes Are Gross, get ready to have your world rocked. According to a follow-up poll, 80.7% of men said that they wash their legs. Women, 75.1%. More women skip washing their legs. That was shocking to me. I think I need to apologize to all my fellow men out there for assuming the worst of you. That said, this can't actually work, can it? You guys know that we here at Team Theorist are always looking for ways to save you money and ways to save you time. So if there's an optimized way to actually shower and wash your body, then we are going to be here to test it. So with 2 weeks left to go before our new HR manager joins the team, we decided we put this mystery to the test and throw everyone in the shower. I swear this is a channel that's not going to get demonetized. But before we start throwing Team Theorist under the old shower head, we decided, hey, let's actually learn a little bit about how soap can actually clean our body. So we decided to bring in Theorist's own chemistry expert, Stephanie.
Hello. I thought that there were going to be some parts of our life and house that didn't end up on one of these channels, and boy, how wrong I was. Welcome to our actual personal room and bathroom.
In our most personal of spaces. That does mean that we can write the square footage off of taxes at least at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's great.
A fun fact, actually, that's why the channels are what they're. It's not like optimization, it's not about YouTube trends, things like that. It's literally like, hey, I want to buy video games, that's a tax write-off.
And I need some new shampoo, so let's start a style channel,
So
honestly.
let's just let everyone rampage through our bathroom and shower on camera.
Speaking of soap, it turns out that soap is a very special molecule in our lives called a surfactant. It's sort of a yin and yang, a little cat dog, if you will.
Yin and yang, cat dog. Man, nothing like classic Nicktoons to really compare.
I know. All the other dyes, the lotions, the perfume and stuff in your soap don't actually contribute to cleaning your body. Just this one type of molecule does. A surfactant molecule has 2 sides, an oily side and a watery side. We pretty much intuitively understand, most people, that oil and water don't mix. But the thing is, you have oil on your skin. That's what the dirt is. It's extra oil. It's extra sort of greasy, gross buildup. It's awful stuff, actually. And
we are disgusting creatures.
Yeah, honestly. And you can't get all that oil off just by running water over it, because oil and water don't mix. That's where you need soap. So soap has its oily side that sticks to the oil on your skin and really binds to it so it can actually get pulled off of your skin and washed away. And then the watery side sticks to the water that's coming over your head from the shower. And together, it lifts the oil right off of your skin and washes it away right down the drain. So soap is a really special molecule because it actually bridges the gap between 2 things that should not go together at all. But one of the reasons why soap can make you feel really dried out is that the oily end of those surfactant molecules is sticking so well to the oil on your skin that it's actually pulling all of the oils off. So most of the time, a lot of people end up putting some of it back on by putting on lotion after your shower. If you think about it, bathing is not all that efficient of a process.
It's really interesting. When we break down the chemistry of this, water is just kind of like there as a passenger. It's like the support.
Yeah, it just carries away the soap and the dirt. You actually need something else to remove the dirt from your body.
Drop that knowledge bomb next time you're in science class. That'd be amazing. You will blow your teacher's mind.
It's true, actually.
Anyway, you gotta go get changed now. Yes, go.
Bye.
Which segues us nicely into the actual experiment. To get the cleanest results, pun definitely intended, we had to account for a variety of variables. Now, obviously, we can't just be showering on camera sans covering. That one's for the OnlyFans. So our dress code for the day was shorts and short sleeves to try and leave as much skin exposed as possible. This then would allow the water and soap to drip down our bods naturally and freely wash away as much dirt as it normally would. Speaking of dirt, our mess for the day was a heavy oil-based coffee scrub, less likely to destroy our plumbing, and also a perfect way to ensure that everyone's legs were equally dirty. We also made sure to all use the same soaps, shampoos, and conditioners to keep the chemistry as consistent across the board as possible. No additional variables here. Scientific method, eat your heart out. Everyone was told to keep their shower to 10 minutes, and to ensure that we were accounting for different shower habits, each tester was told to conduct their normal shower routine as if they weren't on camera for a million viewers. No pressure there. The only change that we made to their shower routines was asking them to scrub one leg and not the other. That way we could get a visual and tactile comparison between the two immediately after turning the water off. Fun fact, this experiment led me to find out that when it comes to leg washing, Team Theorist was very pro scrubbing across the board, not a gravity user in the house. Oh, and that does remind me of the one variable I haven't talked about yet, body hair. Obviously, there's just a natural difference between hairy legs and shaved legs that might play into all of this, right? So we decided to get as large of a sample size as possible across Team Theorist. So let's bring out a couple of our brave volunteers, shall we? Showing up again on the Style Theory channel, it's Amy.
Hello.
And then representing the hairy leg is Sam.
Wait, I'm not the hairy leg?
I have not checked recently, but I'll let you make the judgment call for yourself. Do you want me to hold your leg?
Do you want to?
Okay, so look, there it is. Hairy leg. When was the last time you shaved your legs?
How old am I? 25? Never.
Okay, never. Amy, you have been with the channels for a long time. Is this the weirdest thing that we got you to do?
It's getting really close, but I still think making me lick Tootsie Pops on the internet that will be there forever is probably the weirdest so far.
Sam, you're one of the new members of the team. Yeah, say hi to everyone. But what is one fact that everyone should know about you? That'll be your defining character trait from here until the time you leave this company.
When I was in elementary school, I was nationally ranked guitar player.
That is awesome, actually. Yep, that's really keep you through the fire and flames.
An expert with my eyes closed.
Whoa!
Instead of ever leaving my house or making friends, I played guitar here.
Is this what you thought you were signing up for when you were like, yeah, I'm gonna accept that job offer at Team Theorist?
I don't think I ever expected the day where you would walk out and be like, what are your thoughts on getting in my shower on camera?
I will say it is proving to be a consistent career path. So,
What do you mean it's been a consistent career path?
because Sam has my old job, and this is where I ended up.
This is not like, hey, okay, great. You guys get out of here. Let's move on to the experiment. After getting changed into my monetization-friendly wetsuit, it was time to get dirty using our dirt du jour. First up, we had our brave volunteers, Amy and Sam. Right away, we noticed a big difference between someone with hairy legs versus someone with smooth legs. The scrub clung to Sam's hairy legs like Velcro, while it had a harder time sticking to Amy's shaved legs. The dirt just had less to hold onto. Maybe this is why, in the poll that we mentioned earlier, women admitted to washing their legs slightly less than men. Many women shave their legs, so maybe they assume that the shaving is also soaping up their legs, removing a dirty layer of skin, or just that there's less hair for the dirt to adhere to. So while Steph and I mourned the state of our bathroom floor, Amy and Sam were ready to enter the shower.
We're gonna scrub it all off.
Now, a quick note about the shower setup. Showers typically come with either a diagonal or overhead nozzle. In our bathroom, we have a rainfall shower, meaning that the water is falling from directly above the tester's head down onto their body. Keep this one in mind. We're gonna come back to it later. But for now, back to the bathroom where Steph and I were waiting outside in a totally work-appropriate, totally non-creepy way. We are the peanut gallery, peeking in on our employees as they take showers.
Oh, this is going so wrong so many ways today.
Meanwhile, keeping time, we had Josiah, a new member of Team Theorist who struggled to understand how timers work.
That's it. Just automatically starts. It's a preschooler clock. We bought it for all.
You just turn it and it starts. It's going as we
Is it at 10? That's when the numbers 1 and 0 are on there. We are running out of time.
Okay,
Let's go.
that's the man who's responsible for tracking our analytics. We know how to pick him. After Josiah got himself a quick lesson in preschool-friendly analog clocks, we were ready to dive back into the science of the day. We forgot to let the water warm up, so Amy and Sam got treated to a surprise. Whoops, sorry guys. Maybe there was a reason I had to go first. Now, right away we noticed some interesting differences. Sam was a face-to-the-wall kind of guy, with very little rotation under the shower head, while Amy, with her noticeably longer hair, had to keep her back to the shower in order to get the head fully wet. We also got a bit of an insight into Sam's hair care knowledge, which was zero.
Based on the fact that I didn't know double shampooing was a thing, I'm gonna say one.
Well, Sam, that's why you wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah, that's the repeat part.
Which honestly is a style theory for another day. Does it actually do anything?
Yeah, does the double wash do anything? Because I used to never double wash, and I really just adopted the double wash probably a couple of years ago, where the first wash, it doesn't really suds up as much, and it feels like you're just getting like the surface level grime out. And then the second wash, you're really able to get in there.
Already you could start to see that shower technique was going to be completely different for different people. Amy and Steph both classify themselves as double shampoo washers. Sam and I, we are single lather bros. In fact, truth be told, most of the time, I'm not even using conditioner. I think that stuff is useless. You're just making your head greasy and then washing it all off again, just resetting you back to where you began in the first place. There, I said it. Go ahead and roast me in the comments. You can't make me use it. Anyway, the additional round of shampooing meant that Amy and Steph would have more soap coming down their legs over the course of their shower than either samurai, which might have resulted in cleaner legs. We'll just have to wait and see the results here at the end. For now, I want you to focus on the super impressive lather that Sam's got going on. Maybe this is why he doesn't need a second round of shampoo. He literally has Mickey Mouse glove levels of suds happening there. Honestly, I think I just need to step up my shampoo game after this. Even though our testers were taking the most modest shower ever, they did try to recreate everything as accurately as they could so the soap would run down their legs naturally. And we can see even now that before either Sam or Amy got to actually scrubbing, a lot of the dirt was already being washed away by the combination of soap and water. Something I did not expect to see so soon. And that wasn't the only thing blowing my mind. According to Amy, shower time also meant it was time to rock out like she was at a concert. Is that really something that you just do in the shower? She's like a headbang.
Pretty great job.
And we found the same results for Sam. You can tell right away. Obviously, very clean. You did a very thorough job. I saw you getting in there with the scrub. Meanwhile, over here, you can definitely see a lot of the visible coffee grounds still apart and kind of like nestled in the leg.
And actually, you can see, I think, where the line of water is that naturally goes down the body, right? So there, it looks like there was a stream of water that cut here and washed this area of the calf off really well, but actually left this patchy spot over here because that wasn't like the direct path of water in like a stream down the leg.
And here, theorists, was the moment we stumbled upon the key to our soap leg experiment, shower technique. How you stand, move, and interact with the shower environment. Like we learned earlier, soap can separate the dirt from your skin, but without the water to act as transportation, that soapy dirt mixture is just gonna stay on your body. So how you stand and move under the shower head actually matters a lot. If the water isn't running over a part of your body, the grime ain't gonna be going anywhere. But this was only one set of data. And here at Team Theorists, we are nothing if not thorough in making sure that we have a clean set of data to work with. It was time for round 2.
We give it a go?
I think it's time for Steph and I to put our legs where our mouths are.
This episode gets worse and worse.
But first, it's time for you to hop on over to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy seeing us put ourselves in weird situations for your entertainment and education, then you're gonna want to stick around because we have a ton of live action testing planned for style theory. By subscribing, you're making sure that our future uploads make it in front of your eyeballs and aren't just getting washed away down the drain of the algorithm. All right, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Time to get back to the shower. Steph and I slathered on our questionable scrub.
It looks like poop.
Made sure we had ourselves a well-balanced coating of goo. Does this look even?
You're missing one big lob right there.
Does this look even? We were ready for the water, with me representing Team Hairy Leg and Steph stepping up to bat for the hairless leg. Now that we knew to pay close attention to how the water flowed down our bodies, we were hyper aware of our natural shower stances and habits. Turns out, I'm a pivoter. I tend to always have my right leg underneath the shower head, and so like it is my home base. And so my left leg actually stands out of the water a lot, which is ultimately I think affecting my results here. But my right leg was when I wasn't scrubbing. I feel like it would actually become real clean at this point, but that's not how it works. I'm also a soap to the body man. Look at that soap to skin action. Stephanie, on the other hand, was a twirler, spinning the soap in her hand to gather a bunch of suds and then using it to wash her leg. That's also not the only Steph Pro strat that I want to shout out here. Take a look at her shower stance, what I'm going to call the TSA pat down.
I think I'm the only weirdo who literally stands like they're being held at gunpoint in the shower. Like,
Clean. If you ever wanted to know how much your toothbrush is actually doing to keep your pearly white, strap in, friends. Today we're putting 6 of the best-selling toothbrushes to the Theorist test to see which brush earns the plaque for fighting plaque. If you compare a $3 toothbrush to a $300 toothbrush, is there really that much of a difference? Will an electric win out over a manual, or will Sonic be able to topple them all? Do all of those different heights and angles of bristles do anything, or is it all just a bunch of marketing hype? And seriously, do we really need to floss? I promise you, friends, the results of today's experiment will have your jaw drop to the floor, and not because of tooth decay. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, the show that 9 out of 10 dentists agree will blow your mind. That 10th dentist, yeah, he was always a bit strange. Let me ask you this. How often are you brushing your teeth? If you're like most of America, you likely answered 2 times a day. According to a 2019 survey, 55% of people say that same thing. As for me, yeah, I'm not in that group. I gotta admit, not the best toothbrusher. I brush every morning, first thing in the morning, and that's it. That's right, I am a once-a-dayer, and I am proud of it. I am standing here with the 29%. But regardless of whether you're brushing once per meal, once per day, or once per week, one thing we can all agree on is that we want our brushes to be doing the best job possible. There's just one problem with that. There are so many toothbrush options out there. Just search for a toothbrush on Amazon and get ready for an avalanche of choice. It's no longer just deciding if you should use manual or electric anymore. What kind of electric toothbrush? How much pulsing action do you need? Which brush head do you choose? The tri-zone, the cross-action? How do sonic toothbrushes factor into all this? And don't even get me started on the new toothbrushes that you see getting promoted in viral ads across social media. With so many options available, how are you possibly gonna pick the one that's actually gonna get your teeth the cleanest? Well, if you're me and you operate a style, fashion, and self-care channel, you convince your partner and 2 other creative directors to bare their teeth all in the name of science. For 2 weeks, our longest experiment ever on the channel, we tested 6 of the most popular brushes on the market, ranging in price from $3 to $300, all in an effort to see whether your toothbrush actually makes a difference in how clean your teeth gets. 15 days of awkward mouth picks later, and we have our results all ready to share with you today. Is there an OnlyFans of just teeth picks? Because oh boy, get ready to get super up close and personal with these pearly whites. Let's meet our contestant, shall we? We have my partner Steph, who brushes twice a day.
in the morning and then at night. When I get up in the morning, first thing, mouth is gross. At night, sometimes I'm brushing for a long time and I'm getting like a really nice deep clean, and other times it's more of a superficial.
There's Style Theory creative director Amy.
I am a compulsive brusher before bed and when I wake up.
From Food Theory creative director Santi.
I'm not a morning brusher. My mornings consist of me rolling out of bed. So once my morning meetings are done and all that, then I'll brush my teeth, and then I'll brush my teeth at night.
And lastly me. You already know how I feel about this.
I think if you're brushing your teeth twice a day, you might have a little too much time on your hands.
Okay, calm down. It's a bit of an over-exaggeration there. But seriously, I do believe that if you're doing a thorough job brushing twice a day, it seems like overkill to me. But I guess we're gonna find out. Anyway, with everyone introduced, let's talk about the test. First, every person is gonna stick to their own individual standard brushing schedule, so we're not mixing any extra variable into the mix. We're also all gonna be using the same basic fluoride toothpaste to keep the focus solely on the difference between the brushes. For each brush, we standardize the time to the full dentist recommended 2 minutes in length. And then after the final brush of the day, we're gonna chew up a disclosure tablet to see how each brush did. If you've never heard of a disclosure tablet before, it's made to help highlight the plaque that's on your teeth by staining it a bright, easy to see color. Usually you're gonna want to use these things before brushing your teeth so you know where exactly you're trying to brush, but for our experiment today, we're gonna be using it after each brush so it's not affecting where we're targeting our mouths. We're actually using disclosure tablets made by YouTube's own Dental Digest, the Fat Glob brand. And from there, that's about it. We'll still be allowed to floss and use mouthwash like normal, but only after getting our disclosure results and taking our pictures so as not to taint the results. That way, we're changing one thing and one thing only, and that's the toothbrush. Speaking of brushes, let's talk about that. Steph and I, we usually use the Sonic Hair by Philips. It's different than a mechanical toothbrush. You have the blood style mechanical toothbrush that rotates the head back and forth. This one's more of a vibrator that supposedly uses sonic action, just kind of hold the brush to your teeth and let the sonic action do all the work for you, which I don't believe, which is why this test is happening right now. Santi also likes the vibrating option.
What I normally use is this bad boy, the Oral-B Pulsar or something. Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, to be honest. I like it because it has these yellow rubber things on the side that like are supposed to really help scrub out any stubborn plaque.
Well said, sir. And then we had ourselves Amy, who, to my shock, still uses a plain old manual toothbrush.
I don't buy the cheapest toothbrush, I just buy a nice brush, but I've never actually had like an electric or a sonic toothbrush. I've only ever used manual toothbrushes, which apparently, according
according to Matt, means that I am a plebeian who has not fully developed as an adult brushing my teeth because I have not upgraded.
Okay, hey, I did not use those exact words, but yeah, I did kind of assume that as you get older, you keep upgrading your toothbrush, kind of like you upgrade a phone. But hey, we'll see who's right soon enough. With Amy on Team Manual, Santi on Team Electric, and Stephanie on Team Sonic, everyone had a horse in this race. Nicely balanced that way. To be as thorough as possible, we'll be testing out 6 different options. In the manual category, we have this cheap generic brush, this dentist recommended multi-bristle head, and the social media sensation, the nano brush. In the electric category, we actually have 2 different heads, the cross action and the tri-zone. And then lastly, we'll be capping it off with the Sonic Hair. Each toothbrush will get 2 days of testing and will be graded on mouthfeel, ease of use, and of course, how clean it actually gets your teeth. So with everyone feeling super confident about their dental health,
I've had a lot of teeth problems in my life due to a lot of health reasons and just the natural movements of my teeth kind of crunching everything together.
I'm pretty, I guess, insecure with my teeth. I have these little ridges, they came in a little like twisted.
I had like 3 years in a row where I had cavities. It wrecked my dental confidence.
I'm proud of my teeth. I think I have a great smile.
it's time to get brushing. But before we get to that, I am so excited to announce that our first ever winter collection just launched over on theorywear.com. We're calling it the Northern Lights collection because it is packed full of things to keep you warm and cozy and bright this holiday season. And there's something for everyone in the mix. For the theorists that's looking to hit the slopes or just look like they're hitting the slopes when in actuality they're at the lodge sipping hot cocoa, we have ourselves the pastel Aurora Borealis inspired snowsuit that should make people stop and think, whoa, that person is stylish and they know how to snowboard, even if you don't know how to snowboard. But let's say that you'd rather stay in and have yourself a date night with your special someone. You're in luck again. Your iconic duo will love our iconic duo in the cozy hibernation sweater and the Aurora blazer. No lie, these are actually 2 of my favorite items in the entire line. The best part, Steph and I felt like we had just put a jackhammer into our mouths, but maybe the results would be worth the violence?
You're brushing individual teeth. Look, I missed a tooth.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, not quite.
The bottoms are good. I spent a ton of time on the
I didn't
bottom.
notice that you started on the bottoms and you focused on the bottom.
Yeah, but by the time I got to the top, I was like either running out of time or running out of patience, and I literally skipped a tooth and you can see exactly where it is.
It seemed like the smaller head forced us to be more conscious of hitting each and every tooth individually.
I don't feel like I had a good understanding of how to use it. I still want to go through the normal acts of brushing and doing all that, which I think maybe is not exactly what I should be doing with this brush.
Instead of the broad strokes that worked for the manual brushes, this small circular head meant that we had to go around each tooth one by one, or else we'd miss it entirely.
This will be the most successful one. But what I'm realizing that it's coming down to is like 70% brush, but 30% technique. I feel like tomorrow I'll probably have gotten my technique down pat a little bit more with this brush.
And credit where credit's due, Santi did exactly that.
Today my mouth feels a lot cleaner. I feel like I actually hit everything. I just feel it. Top teeth, definitely cleaner. Not the cleanest that they've been with other brushes, specifically the basic brush. The basic brush is coming through, man.
But while he was busy celebrating, the rest of us, yeah, we weren't so sure.
But I don't really feel any better about this one than I did about the other normal Oral-B. The crisscross bristles really seem to do a lot for it, and I like having a smaller surface area to really get each tooth individually. The electricness of it doesn't make a ton of difference to me.
And that was far from Amy's only issue.
They don't fit in my cabinet, but to do that, I have to disassemble it and stick it in a different place, which is just, you know, a level of inconvenience that I don't need in my toothbrush routine when I'm getting up at like 5 in the morning, brushing my teeth in the dark.
Sorry, Amy, but with great power comes great responsibility, like having to disassemble your brush. In the end, our teeth felt very clean, but it wasn't the easiest to use. We felt rushed because we had to take more time on each individual tooth, and the disclosure tablet showed that while we could certainly get a better, deeper clean, it required a level of skill that we had yet to truly master. Overall, that put the electric crisscross at number 2 on the overall leaderboard. And it was here that all of us really started to hit a wall. None of us had predicted the strain and frustration that would come with having to film ourselves every day brushing our teeth, chewing on powdery disclosure tablets, getting jump scared by giant close-up photos of our teeth every time we opened our phone. But we had to press on for science, for views, and for your dental hygiene. Onward to the what was this one called again?
Yeah, so this is the Triforce, which just feels like I'm saying the Tri Guy. One of the Trifold.
The Tri-Zone. This one made our short list for one reason and one reason only. It does something that no other brush on this list can do. It brushes side to side. Or I suppose it would be up and down if you're holding the whole thing sideways. Dentists believe that oscillating toothbrushes, meaning ones that physically rotate or move, work far better than ones that are just there vibrating. But what this test was quickly showing me was that dentists, yeah, they're gonna recommend anything.
It reminds me of the other big brush that we did, the manual brush. The size difference, all I have to do is sweep it across my teeth and it feels like it's getting pretty much most of the bulk of my tooth. After having such a small head in the previous version of this, I actually miss it because I liked the small precision head.
But Amy and Santi weren't so nostalgic. In fact, for the first time in the entire experiment, Santi seemed to finally be enjoying his life again.
This is my favorite so far. Miles away better than anything else because I get like a full toothbrush head, unlike the other one, which is a tiny, like this tiny, like circular thing. I hate the motion of this head. This one, because it goes side to side, you really feel like it's getting every nook and cranny between your teeth.
It's interesting. Santi was our Team Electric boy at the start of the episode, and with this brush being the most similar to his usual brush, started to notice a pattern here, but we needed a bit more evidence. Let's see what the disclosure tablet told us.
It's actually not cleaned as well as I thought it did. You know, here on the sides, there's still a good decent amount of plaque. Overall, it seems like my teeth did not get as clean.
And while Santi was dealing with his crippling disillusionment, he wasn't alone. We all had similar issues.
It looks like it was missing spots here, and I don't know if that's a user error versus like the toothbrush being super bad. This is why we do it for more than one day. I think I'm going to try to make sure I'm a little bit more thorough next time, now that I kind of can see where my natural tendencies miss.
Like the last brush head, we felt like we needed to slow down to get a thorough cleaning. So moving into day 2, we tried our best to adjust the technique. Once again, we found our results to be mixed across the board.
I think this is a matter, though, of just getting used to this brush and using it more than just 2 days. Because already from yesterday to today, I feel like the teeth are cleaner. These bottom teeth have always been the problem children. I would say this is the cleanest that they've gotten.
Too bad the rest of us couldn't say the same. Amy, our electric brush newbie, was particularly frustrated, not just because she couldn't figure out how to charge it, but because she didn't think her results were any better than normal.
It doesn't feel any better than the manual toothbrush. I like the idea of it. Can't say that it's currently blowing my mind in execution.
And as we drew closer to the end of the experiment, I was starting to worry. None of the brushes were doing a perfect job. It was starting to spiral.
Is the moral of this story going to be that flossing is required?
Oh no.
That would be the worst.
No.
But we had one final shot, one last brush that could save the whole thing. The one that I'd been championing since the beginning. Could the Sonic Hair, the brush that Steph and I have been using for years, finally be the plaque-killing hero? There's only one way to find out. From the outside, the Sonic Hair looks pretty similar to an electric toothbrush. But what separates the Sonic from just the plain old electric is that these babies gotta go fast. Electric toothbrushes can rotate a few thousand times a minute, but the Sonic brush is vibrating at tens of thousands of times a minute. Obviously, the faster is gonna be the better here, right? From all my research, Sonic toothbrushes mainly have one type of head, the kind that vibrates side to side rather than rotating. And since we already learned dentists recommend a brush that rotates rather than simply vibrating, this could finally be the thing that proves that dentist recommendations are a joke. Oh, and speaking of jokes, what could be funnier than wearing some ridiculously long nails? Yeah, if you're wondering what's going on with my nails in this clip, that's for another style theory that we got cooking up for later this year. So just make sure that you're subscribed for that one. Don't you just love it when experiments overlap with each other?
So that's my toothbrushing. That's with my normal toothbrush. I'm pretty happy with that. I feel pretty good. I feel like I get a good sense of clean. And I feel like of all the toothbrushes, this likely has the best shot of getting into the crevices because the fast vibrations feel like it gets deeper into the tooth, but I guess the disclosure tab will ultimately be the judge of that one.
And what a harsh judge it was. The front teeth looked okay, but when it came to the back and the gaps between my teeth, the Sonicare was just a swing and a miss. And it wasn't just me.
Did not like that at all. It was very aggressive.
By God, is that a very violent feeling toothbrush. This thing goes hard and does it very quickly. This thing is just very intense and splattery. I still don't quite get the hype around it. Matt and Stephanie, they like really sold this thing up. Like they hyped it up, they were committed, they were all in on this toothbrush, and it doesn't feel that different to me than my manual toothbrush.
This was getting embarrassing. I was certain that the Sonicare would come out on top, but the disclosure result tablets didn't lie. The Sonicare wasn't leaps and bounds ahead of every other brush. It was just okay.
It's fun enough. I think it's a cute idea, but it doesn't, for me, change how I brush my teeth. It doesn't really brush my teeth any better.
And she had a point. Across all her disclosure results, Amy stayed very consistent. In fact, she had more plaque when using the Sonicare. Santi, same thing.
It's nice, it's fancy, sure, but is it really doing that much of a job? I'm gonna say that this is the biggest disappointment. I knew the Nano wasn't gonna be the best one. I was excited for it, but I think this one's the biggest disappointment. Definitely not worth the money if this is the most expensive one.
Even me, I brushed to the best of my ability. My fate as a hygiene expert depended on it. I used everything that I'd learned throughout this whole experiment. I had so much at stake here. I had to prove that my toothbrush was the best, and I failed.
So it's not looking great, especially bottom front. Not fantastic. Where it's missing the stuff in the front.
It actually missed a little bit of mine too.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm left with egg on my face and in my teeth. And looking at the scores, the Sonicare technically takes the top spot, but I think Steph and I both rating our personal toothbrush higher skewed those results. Typically speaking, the world's ugliest Christmas sweater. And theorists, all I can say is, I'm sorry for what you're about to witness.
This is the worst. It's so bad.
I don't think we needed science to tell us this was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
I cannot think of anyone in their right mind who would want to wear this. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Style Theory, where today it is a very festive episode. Across the globe, it's getting colder, the fireplaces are getting toasty, and people are starting to seed presents under the table, which means that it is time for Style Theory's first ever holiday episode, which is pretty exciting. What exactly that Style Theory is, though, is up to Amy, because Amy is my puppeteer on this channel, and she is going to determine for me what is going to be best. So, dear Santa Amy...
Merry Christmas. Hello there, Matthew Patrick. You want some presents?
I got a lot of jump scares on this couch and on this set. This is perhaps the strangest.
You weren't expecting Santa?
I wasn't expecting a lot of things about what I'm seeing over here right now. It's just,
Ho, ho, ho.
what is that accent? Where is that coming from?
You have to ho-ho for
This is your fault.
This is all your fault.
You're the ones who did this.
You made this horrible thing come into existence.
I'm ashamed.
Actually, I'm just disappointed.
I'm ashamed and disappointed.
Ashamed, disappointed, and unjolly.
Not unjolly.
Very unjolly.
Ooh, that's cool.
But you know what does make me feel nice and warm inside? Your turnout. I had a winter wonderland worth of data to sort through, and I was able to distill that down to a few key elements that separated the truly hideous from the so ugly it's cute. And then I sent all of that information to our product company to turn it into the scientifically ugliest Christmas sweater.
Wait, so you haven't seen this abomination either?
Not in real life. So this is going to be a world premiere for all of us at the same time. But hold up, don't skip to the end yet, because then you will miss a once-in-a-lifetime announcement that's going to happen during this video. Now, to break down what makes an ugly Christmas sweater actually ugly, I'm giving Matt 3 gifts. Each gift will represent key data points that went into building our ugliest Christmas sweater. So, are you ready for this? I hope so, because it's time for our first present of the day, the gift of Christmas. Ho ho ho! No.
All right, so for box number 1.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, this is kind of fun. I don't hate this. This is kind of cute. Ooh, it's very soft. The printedly Christmas sweaters actually becomes a really good Christmas sweater.
Oh, don't you worry, Matt. We'll get to that. But right now, you may be wondering why anyone in their right mind would wear something like this. And it's actually pretty interesting. You see, while the majority of our long-standing holiday traditions date back centuries, ugly sweaters are a bit more recent, like really recent. In the 1950s, with the rise of technology's ability to mass-produce both products and the ads that promote them, sweaters made to only be worn during the holidays started to come into fashion, and they came to be known as Jingle Bell sweaters. However, while I wouldn't call them fashion-forward, they were not the ugly sweaters as we think of them today. Their purpose wasn't to be outright ugly. They were just meant to show off your festive spirit during the holidays. Eventually, those sweaters fell out of fashion and were considered a bit too old school to be hip with the youth. And by the time the 90s rolled around, it was pretty much dead and buried. At least it was until the Canadians entered the chat. Vancouver-based friends Chris Boyd and Jordan Birch threw the first ever ugly Christmas sweater party back in 2002. And boom, suddenly everyone and their grandma was grabbing a Santa or a Rudolph to slap on their chest and join in on the festivities. And now you can't walk 5 feet during the holidays without running into one of these bad boys.
Hey, thanks for the history lesson, but is it time for my next present?
Sure is. I call this one the gift of Christmas. What the fudge is that?
Just give me the present.
Yeah, box number 2.
Ooh, I'm noticing that the boxes have different patterns on them. Is this some sort of secret code? Or secret? Nope. Yeah, you don't have to explain this one twice to me.
Oh, no, I will, though.
I like that this is not the ugliest Christmas sweater.
No, it's-
Notified whenever we upload a new video, thus bringing them a shiny new present straight to their sub feed for free.
While that is important, and you should totally subscribe right now and join us on our climb to 3 million style theorists, what I actually meant is that this sweater tells us something important our survey could only hint at: feelings. A clothing item is only as effective as it makes you feel.
Oh, I get it. When I look at this hideous monstrosity, I feel like I want to gouge my eyes out with an unsharpened spoon.
I'm just gonna yes and here. So yes, how much you enjoy something is a hard factor to account for, and it's determined mainly by how that clothing item affects our mood. So we have to find something that would give people that universal sense of ugh. And here's the thing, ugliness is very subjective, but at its root, it's about 2 specific things: what we find attractive and what we find trustworthy. So far in this episode, we focus mainly on the first part, attractiveness. When we find something attractive, our brains are hardwired to view that thing more positively. Like we talked about in our facial symmetry episode, when we're babies, we're born showing a preference for faces and objects that we find more quote-unquote attractive. And because of that, we built our survey to find out what people found the least attractive about designs. And it's why the sweaters that evoked a strong negative feeling stood out the most, whether that was in disgust, unease, or just a general sense of yuck.
But you didn't have that reaction to this sweater.
Nope, to me, this one is very minimally offensive. So that means that our final product needs to be unquestionably off-putting and harness the full power of negative holiday-themed ideas.
Oh, like this guy.
What guy?
So I was changing.
Yes.
I found this hanging out in my closet. And I do gotta pitch this in here. of Uncanny Valley characters.
Kinda,
I
yeah.
see this and it's like, that isn't quite Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it bothers
It's
me.
that, plus you get the hairy texture.
The little, like, fur texture?
Our highest ranked ugly sweater was a giant Rudolph with a hairy fur texture to it.
Huh.
So we left one space on our survey
Yeah.
for people to basically describe the ugliest sweater they saw in that survey, and so many people were traumatized by the Rudolph.
Huh, Harry Rudolph.
Hairy Rudolph.
Fascinating.
The other thing that the comments made clear, realness equals ugliness. The more true to life and realistic the image, the creepier it was. Realistic reindeers, nightmare fuel. Your face on a character, gag. Add in the realistic hair, burn it with fire. This is the Uncanny Valley, an idea that was popularized by Japanese roboticist Masahiro Mori. The Uncanny Valley is where things look and feel real, but not quite right. This causes us to react to that thing with unease. And that brings me back to the second half of what makes things quote-unquote ugly. You know, that thing I was trying to explain earlier before I was jump scared by a nightmare Freddy? You see, it's not really about something being pretty, it's about it being trustworthy. This is actually a survival instinct. Back before modern society made this a heck of a lot easier, we had to use our natural instincts to avoid things that were diseased or contaminated.